Welcome TCG Addicts to a new video. We're going to go ahead and get right back on track from last week. Now that set 10 has officially dropped, I've established some new decks. We're going to go into some new deck profiles starting this week. Kind of just making a new month into new decks, kind of things we tweaked with set 10, and going right into it so we can go into the anniversary set coming up next month. If you are new to TCG Addicts and to this channel, go ahead and comment below, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. If you want any other videos or anything along those lines, you want something new, or you want to see play testing with this team and TCG Addicts and all of us, please go ahead and leave that in the comments below. We will do videos along those lines. We have no issues with that. If you are new also, just know this channel is mostly deck profiles. It is a team channel. We have a core group of about 20-some, I believe it's about 22 members in this team, and we all are willing to make video content as well as just normal everyday usage all the time. So, with that being said, this being a deck profile list, we are going to go ahead and dive into one of the new decks that has been played, and that is the Syn Shenron from set 10. So, if anyone is used to it, you've probably seen that it is already top forward in, I believe it was VA Beach. This is going to be a deck's profile very similar to that deck. There's my own little tweak to it, and so there's a little bit of interesting to it. Also, like I said, later on in the month, throughout the month, I'm going to be doing new videos. If you want to see some live streams, go ahead and leave that in the comments below, but let's get into Syn Shenron first. So the Syn Shenron leader is, like I said, a set 10 leader card. Let's go ahead and take it out of this case because that glare is just not helping, is it? So Syn Shenron's leader. First auto is when this card attacks. You look at the top 5 cards from the top of the deck, choose a Shadow Dragon card among them, and then add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. Second auto is at the end of the turn. You choose one yellow Shadow Dragon card in your battle area and switch it to active mode. Awaken, 3 or less life, or you have a yellow Unison card with a specified cost of 4. In play, you draw 2 cards, switch one of your energy to active mode, and flip this over. So that's the leader card on his front. So that is his front, Awakening. As you see, so the set 10, you'll see this is a foil Syn Shenron. It is an uncommon, but what set 10 did is they made some commons, uncommons, and rares foil, but it also made them full art. Their regular versions are not full arted. You'll see that throughout some of this deck. Some of this deck's not full arted, some is, because it is the foil versions of it. So this is the foil Syn Shenron. On his backside, he has an auto. When this card attacks, draw a card. Second auto, at the end of the turn, you untap all your Shadow Dragons. And his activate main for 6 yellow, play up to 7 different Shadow Dragon cards from your drop area. So basically, you're going to play all your 7 Shadow Dragons, which I believe there's 7, maybe 8, if you include the SCR from the tournament packs. But this is the Syn Shenron to use for this deck. His activate main, if you have to get to a turn 6, which I don't think I've seen Syn Shenron get to turn 6. But if you get to turn 6, you activate his main, you're going to play 7 different Shenrons, different Shadow Dragons, and they are going to ultimately basically lock down the game. And I'll tell you right now, for my Syn Shenron, this is a mono yellow deck. This mono yellow Syn Shenron is also very control. It will control the leader card, it controls the board state, it controls just about everything that this game has to play, and this game does. So, let's go ahead and get into the rest of the deck profile. As usual, we're going to start with counters, and then we'll go into support, and then the main run of the deck. So, first off, we're going to go ahead and start with the counters, which there's only one copy of, or one counter, which is for Flying Nimbus. I don't see very much a need for any other counters, because this deck honestly controls so much board state. If you need anything more than Flying Nimbus, set 10 didn't drop too many, but I mean, you can easily put in Light Bullets, you can put in Concoct Zones. If you want to run a maybe different variation of Syn Shenron with another color, that's fine. But yellow, I believe, has some of the most overpowered counterattacks out there, being Light Bullet, Flying Nimbus. So because of that, I only run 4 of Flying Nimbus, and that's the only counter action run this deck. Now, if you go back and look at some of my other previous deck profiles, you'll notice I run a lot of counters. I am a very defensive player. So the fact that this only has 4 counters will tell you a lot about this deck and how it controls. and this deck is very oppressive and it's very controlling. All right, let's move on to the support. First support's going to be the super combo. I like to use Zamasu. That's just kind of my personal favorite out of the super combos. I run 4 of super combos Zamasu. And it's basically just going to tap down one of your opponent's leaders or battle cards and tap it into rest mode. So basically, when we get into the chain, I'll show you. There's a 4-drop Syn Shenron that will tap down the leader and it can't untap. And the 9-drop Syn Shenron makes it so that when they play, you negate all their skills, whatever their battle card's being played. So Zamasu is kind of just that extra little bit of board control that helps quite a lot to control this game. All right, next we're going to go ahead and show that Unison. I run 4 Mechi Kaburas. 1. So the 4 Mechi Kaburas, I'll tell you right now, the guy who got second in the VA Beach ran 4 Mechis. This deck right now does not have a sideboard, mainly because it's just not done. It's not done mainly because I just did not pull any of the black Mechi Kaburas, which is really another board lock. You play that black Mechi Kabura, you name a card and its energy cost, so like say Son Goku 7, your opponent cannot play on the next turn any 7-drop Son Gokus. It is a very evil little card. Granted, you can only play it every other turn, but it's still a very big lockdown. So this deck doesn't have a sideboard, but I do have the 4 Mechis that are mainboarded. Now, as you can tell, this is a 4-drop Unison, so it will activate Syn Shenron's Awaken by turn 4. So if you have more than 3 life, it's fine. If you play Mechi Kabura, you're good to go. He is a blocker, and auto once per turn if you lose a marker due to an attack. You can choose one of your opponent's cards and switch them to rest mode. So when he loses a marker, you're going to tap down one of their cards. It's +1, you draw a card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode. Now, this is a thing I've noticed when people play Mechi. They do not realize it has to be in rest mode prior to you activating his +1 ability. It has to be in rest. If it's in rest, then you ignore its barrier, and that card can't be switched to active mode until your opponent's next turn. So ultimately, it's a really good just lockdown board state, and you keep it locked down. -4, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gain control of it, and you switch it to active. So say he's sitting at 5 counters. They drop down UI Goku, they drop down their SCR, they drop down anything that doesn't have barrier. You -4 this, and you can take over their SCR. I've watched a guy do that to my Apex Predator. He tried to at least. Unfortunately, the Apex Predator negates all skills of all cards other than extra cards, so Unison is negated. But ultimately, say it's not Apex of Power or anything along those lines, or say you're ulting this after Apex of Power, and you got out of that Victory Strike, you can -4 that and take their Victory Strike away from them, bring it back to active mode, and swing. And that ultimately is just a really broken Unison, I believe. Very control state. Alright, next we're going to go into some more support. We're going to run 4 Vegeta Prideful Transformations, which is a counterplay blocker. Counterplay, if you can activate the counterplay skills of other you can't activate other counterplays. So once you counterplay with this, you're not going to activate another counterplay for the duration of the turn. And then you play this card. The battle card being played will be played in rest mode. And then you play Vegeta Prideful Transformation. And then if you have a yellow Unison card with 2 or more markers, this is a free counterplay. So ultimately, say they bring in their SCR. You can counterplay it. It comes in tapped. You can't activate any more counterplays for the turn. That's fine. But if you have Mechi Kabura out, it's a free counterplay for their SCRs or any of their big boys. Very broken. It's very good against, say, like Vegito. I'd say right now it's probably not going to be good against something like Vegex, who's constantly cycling things out with no issues. Alright, next support. This is going to be different. If you guys have actually looked at the VA Beach one, you will notice this is probably the only difference card in here. And the SCR's obviously not in here. I don't run the SCR because he runs Celzino. Ultimately, I'm just trying to decide, honestly, which SCR I'm going to put in. But right now, this is going to be really the main difference. Is there's no SCR for this deck, and there's no Vegeta Final Flash. I'll tell you right now, Vegeta's Final Flash is in the works. I'm just waiting on my 4 to be ordered. But for now, what I'm using is Dark Dragon Slain Bullet, another counterplay. And I was saying earlier, here's the difference between the full art foil and the non-full art foil. That's what this game's done, is the rares have not all foiled out. They've done some commons and uncommons, and they've made them full arted. Now for this counterplay, Dark Dragon Slain Bullet, if you have a yellow unison card in play, if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less, its skills is negated for the turn, and it's played in rest mode. So you not only negate its skills, so say like UI Goku, if it was a 4-drop, well, excuse me, I should say the non-draft box UI Goku, so the 7-drop EX Evolve Goku. If that was a 4-drop, like the other UI Goku in draft box 4, then this would tap it down and negate its skills, so it honestly wouldn't be able to bounce anything because you're going to counter window it. If your energy is mono yellow, you can choose 2 cards from your hand and place in the drop area and play this for free. So again, another free counterplay. Set 10 did a lot of counters that were going to be free. Dormant Legends, counter Dark Dragon Slain Bullet, Vegeta Prideful Transformation. I believe every color got a free counter of some form or fashion, and you have to just do the secondary cost to it, and it becomes a free counter. So this is the one of the free counters for yellow, being Dark Dragon Slain Bullet. So I use that. Alright, now, this is where you'll see this deck kind of becomes a little more closer to the VA, the Virginia Beach. 4 Zarbon, the Emperor's Attendant. Now, this is a common from set 1, so this is like an OG common. Which is, during your opponent's turn, when you combo this card, you choose a battle card and switch it to active. So ultimately, what it's saying is, you know, you have your Syn Shenron blocker with Revenge. You block with it, and say you combo with Zarbon, you untap it, and it will become reactive and restand, and you have another blocker with Revenge ready to go, and that's what this Zarbon's in here for. You run 4 of. Really good, 0 plus 5k on top of standing up your blocker with Revenge. So that's what that's in there for. Run 4 of it. Again, a set 1 common card. Very easy to get a hold of. Very cheap. I'm going to go ahead and show the final 2. It's going to be 3 SS3 Son Goku's The Last Straw. Self-Awaken. That's really what it is. A 1-drop Self-Awakener. Gets you awakened as quickly as possible. That's what he's in here for. And then Fu, Shroud, and Mystery, that late game, just, I'm going to ultimately control everything you're going to do. It's almost an Apex Predator. It's almost the Apex Predator. I'm going to negate everything. You're not doing anything. Here you go. Let's play. And that's going to be the support for this Syn Shenron. Let's go ahead and get into the main run. I will be showing 3 cards at a time. Except for one. It's going to be the promo. But it's going to be the first 3 cards are going to be 4 Negative Energy 2-star Ball, 4 Haze Shenron, the Poison Master, and 4 Haze Shenron Venomous Mist. So run 4 of each of these guys in this deck, and this is one of the main core engines. So the 2-star Ball. So both the Negative Energy Dragon Balls, it can't attack and is not affected by any skills. So it's not just like Bury and Deflect. It will not be. It can't be negged. It can't be anything, and that's why both of them have a power of 1. I mean, it's just a card that's going to sit there. It won't do anything until you activate the main, which is if you have a Shadow Dragon. You place this in the drop area. You choose a Haze Shenron with energy cost 2 or 3 in your deck or your hand and play it. Then you shuffle your deck. So ultimately, you pop him. You get into the 3-drop Haze Shenron, the Poison Master, which is right here in the middle, which has crit. And when it's played, you add 1 Shadow Dragon with energy cost of 4 or less from your drop area to your hand, which then brings you the Haze Shenron Venomous Mist, which is Double Strike and EX Evolve, which is just a free EX Evolve onto the 3-drop. And when it evolves into this card, so when this card evolves into the 4-drop, switch the card to active mode, and you can't play copies of this card for the turn. So you get a 15 crit swing once you've popped it, 15 crit swing, EX Evolve, and you bring out the 4-drop in active mode. And then And its secondary auto is going to be that you're basically going to be able to KO a card. So it's if your leader card is a Shadow Dragon, you choose one Shadow Dragon card in your hand, discard it. When this card attacks or is used in combo, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and rest mode it with an energy cost greater than their current energy and KO it. So a little bit of control right here for something like, say, Vegeta, who's going to bring out that 6-drop Vegeta that came in set 10 for 3. This is going to be able to basically KO that with no issues. Or even their 7-drop Vegeta. That's what you're aiming for right here. So that's that first core engine. Is basically what I like to call the Hey Shenron run. So the next major run is the... so that's the major core for the Hey Shenron. The next major run is the Syn Shenrons, which is going to be the 1-star balls to the 4-drop Shadow Dragon Leader to the 9-drop Destruction Incarnate. So basically it's going to be the same concept. You're going to play the 1-star ball, again the same thing as the Haze, pop 1, bring the 4-star out, or the 4 cost out. The 4 cost auto, though, is that the auto that's really going to be when it's played is you choose one of your opponent's leader cards in rest mode or battle cards with energy cost 4 or less in rest mode, and it can't attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So ultimately it's not tapping it down, but it's making it so it's not going to swing. And then its first auto is when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, draw a card and play a 1-star ball. So say they neg at 20,000 like Invoker. Say they, Emperor's Death Beam it. Alright, cool. He is being removed from play via a skill. I get my 1-star ball back. And then ultimately I'm going to get my 4-drop back again. And he is a blocker. Then we go into the 9-drop, which is a blocker with Revenge. EX Evolve for 1. So ultimately this is a turn 2 play. So it's turn 1, negative energy Dragon Ball into the 4-drop. Turn 2, you drop a 9-drop 30k blocker with Revenge. And when your opponent plays a battle card, you may choose that battle card, ignoring barrier, and negate skills for the turn. That's his first auto. It's not a once per turn. So every time they play that, you can say, yep, I'm choosing that guy. I'm ignoring barrier. I'm negating your skill for the duration of the turn. Because this auto is also on the board already, this 9-drops auto is already on the board, this guy's auto is a stasis auto he has to resolve. So the when play autos do not trigger. I've already had these discussions. I promise you that is what's happening, is that when play autos will not happen because Syn Shenron is already on board. If this 9-drop is on the board, when play autos will not happen. The secondary auto is, again, the same concept as the first, the 4-drop. If he's removed by skill, or if he's removed from the battle area, I believe, actually. Yeah, so if he's removed by skill or KO, you bring the 1-star back, and you start this chain all over again. So you see it's a very repetitious cycle for very little energy, because you're going to bring the 1-star ball back, pop it for 1 for your 4-drop, pop that for 1 to bring your 9-drop back, and you just restart that chain. And you can bring all these back at any point in time from to your hand. So those are the major core engines and the major runs and wins. The final card that you'll see is similar is going to be the 3-drop promo, Syn Shenron, Harbinger of Ruin. Activate main, you choose one of your cards in rest mode, place it in the drop area, choose up to one of your opponent's cards, and switch it to rest mode. And then it has an auto: when this card's removed in your battle area by opponent's skill, add up to 2 yellow battle cards with 1,000 power less from your drop area to your hand. So ultimately it's just that utility card that's like, okay, I don't have any way to get my Dragon Balls back, my 1-star and my 2-star. Hey, I can get this guy. This guy will pop out. I'll pop them back in. I'll start my chains right back over again. Just nice little utility. That's why it's a 1-of. It's just a utility card that's needed in a very big pinch if you can't get anything out. And that's it. That is the Syn Shenron deck. Like I said, if you've watched Virginia Beach, you'll notice the Dragon Slaying Bullet is really the biggest difference. He runs the Vegeta's Final Flash. I believe he runs 3 of Vegeta's Final Flash, and then he runs Cell Xeno SCR. I do not run the SCR Cell Xeno because unfortunately I don't own Cell Xeno yet. It's one of 4 SCRs I don't own. I only don't own the top 4 expensive ones: Goku, Cell, Broly, and the new Gogeta. Everything else I own, so it's like, okay, that's fine. I can avoid that. And he uses that Cell Xeno instead of the Syn Shenron SCR, because ultimately Cell Xeno is just easier and cheaper to get out than using, say, using Syn Shenron's 7-drop. Because ultimately I believe the Cell Xeno is the successor, and you have a 9-drop here that you can pop out, get the Cell Xeno out, and then and because you pop this with a skill, you restart your chain all over again. And then he runs Vegeta Final Flash because it's basically making the card being played a vanilla card. It's just going to be, whatever it is. Say it's 25k, it's a 25k beater. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. It's not a triple strike. It's not a triple attack. It's none of the above. It's not a blocker. It's not anything. So the Vegeta's Final Flash is really good. I have these on order, so when they come in, I'll probably be replacing my 3 Dragon Slaying Bullets with 3 Vegeta's Final Flash. And I'll probably replace my utility card for Cell Xeno when I get him in eventually, which should be probably in about 3 weeks. I'll be making that order for Cell Xeno. But that is the Syn Shenron deck. That's how it runs. That is the smooth version, and it is pretty much complete. This is what I'm using right now as Syn Shenron. Like I said, until I get certain cards in, but this is Syn Shenron for now. And it is very oppressive, and it works really well to just stop cards from, basically decks from doing stuff. And it works well. I believe right now it's top 8ing. It's not placing first, and none of the decks really that are coming out of set 10 are so overpowered that they can't be beat. Syn Shenron can be beat. Vegex can be beat. Gotenks can be beat. Greenza can be beat. Ginyu. Just any of these decks you're seeing are very beatable. Don't like go into the hype of, Vegex is number 1, it can't be beat. Yes, it can. It's just, once this set truly settles out, certain decks will probably filter back out. Control decks will probably still be in, so Syn Shenron's going to be probably one of those ones that just sticks around. Probably with a little bit of tweaks here and there from Mono Yellow, will this deck truly become oppressive. Something like maybe doing something like Topo's ideas, the Mono Yellow Topo. But along those lines, that's where Syn Shenron's sent now. If you have any questions, though, on the Syn Shenrons or any of the new Set 10 decks, please leave that in the comments down below. I will be able to answer those. I have pretty much every Set 10, as well as this team itself. We run pretty much everybody in this team can run the meta decks. So if you have any questions, comments, or you just want to have a nice, good discussion, debate about, Vegex just sucks or Vegex is the best, by all means, leave that in the comments below. And as a team, we will be able to help you out or answer your questions or just have this discussion with you, because that's what we're here for and that's what we're going to be doing. So with that, Syn Shenron's done. This will be uploaded. And just wait until next Sunday. You'll have another one ready. Not sure if it's going to be from me, though. It might be from another TCG addict. You will know once the video starts because you'll see who it's by and whatnot. Just like this one's going to have here at the beginning of this one. So with that, everyone stay safe, keep on playing, and keep being addicted to TCG and DBS. Thank you, guys.